Welcome back to SecretSpool's Twisted Tale Wednesday. I'm Mara, and tonight's story begins with something so ordinary you've probably scrolled past it hundreds of times without a second thought. A simple, people you may know suggestion. Most of us treat those lists like digital wallpaper, but sometimes a name appears that doesn't feel random at all. Sometimes a suggestion slips in that wasn't created by an algorithm, but by something with much more deliberate intent. Tonight, we step into the story of one stranger who kept appearing and kept getting closer. I'd always ignored the friend suggestions that appeared on social media. They were predictable. Old classmates, co-workers I barely remembered, neighbors I might have seen once. Even when the recommendations felt too accurate, I chalked it up to data collection and shrugged it off. It never felt personal, never like anything more than the platform quietly guessing at the edges of my life. But that changed the night a name I'd never heard before appeared without warning. A.R. Winters. The profile picture alone was enough to make me pause. It looked like something taken decades ago on a cheap film camera, a shadowy figure standing beside a dead tree under a pale sky. The entire image seemed faded, almost dusty, like it had been scanned years after the original photo was taken. There were no mutual friends, no shared details, nothing to link this person to me. The emptiness of the profile felt strange, but I brushed off the unease and moved on. Curiosity eventually nudged me to click the profile, expecting at least a hint of who this person was, but the page was completely blank. No posts, no banner photo, no biographical information, just that unsettling picture. The figure in the image leaned against the tree, head lowered, swallowed in shadows that felt too dark for the washed-out background. A small, inexplicable tension tugged at me, but I closed the page and told myself it was nothing more than a weird spam account. A few days later, the profile returned, and I felt a jolt of recognition followed quickly by confusion. The figure wasn't leaning anymore. She stood upright now, her posture straighter, her outline clearer despite the graininess. The change was subtle, but I knew I hadn't imagined the original version. A faint chill crept over me, but I tried to convince myself that photos can appear different from one glance to the next. Still, something about it lodged itself in the back of my mind. That night, something new appeared beneath the suggestion. One mutual friend. It was a girl I'd known briefly in middle school, someone I hadn't spoken to since we were young. Earlier, there had been no mutual connections at all. The sudden appearance of one, especially someone so irrelevant to my adult life, made the situation feel strangely deliberate, like a series of small knocks at a door I hadn't agreed to open. The name vanished again for a couple of days, and I let myself forget it. But late Saturday night, the profile returned with a new detail that made my chest tighten. 3 mutual friends, and the photo had changed again. The woman now stood several steps closer to the camera, her hair drifting around her shoulders, though the background still looked completely still. Her face remained blurry, yet the sense of movement between images was unmistakable. Something about this didn't feel random. It felt intentional. When I clicked the mutual friends list, the room seemed to tilt. The first was a guy from my college chemistry lab. The second was my high school English teacher, Mrs. Flowers, a woman whose memorial posts I still remembered seeing years ago. Her profile had been locked since her passing. She shouldn't have been able to accept anything. A cold heaviness settled over me as I clicked the third name, hoping for something ordinary. But the third profile was filled with memorial messages too. Every mutual friend connected to this mysterious account was someone who had passed away. My hands trembled as I returned to the photo, and the woman had moved even closer. Her face was pale, almost colorless. Her eyes were deep, unnatural shadows. The longer I stared, the more I felt she wasn't simply posing for a photograph. She was watching. I tried to logic my way out of the mounting dread. Maybe old accounts were compromised. Maybe someone was manipulating photos. Maybe the platform was glitching. But no explanation held steady against the chills running through me. Then a soft notification chimed, and all the breath left my lungs as I saw what had happened. A.R. Winters sent you a friend request. The words felt like a cold finger pressed against my spine. My hands went numb as I hovered over the buttons. Confirm. Cancel. I didn't want to touch either one, but the thought of accepting it made something deep inside me recoil. I clicked cancel, slammed my laptop shut, and backed away as if distance could protect me from whatever was happening. My apartment suddenly felt too quiet, the shadows a little deeper than they should have been. I paced in a tight circle, muttering half-formed explanations, AI hoaxes, hacked accounts, some elaborate prank. None of the ideas soothed the rising panic twisting through my ribs. I grabbed my hoodie and headed outside, hoping the cold air would clear the fog of fear from my mind. The night air hit like a splash of ice water as I walked through the park. Street lamps glowed softly, stretching long amber reflections across the path. My breath puffed out in faint clouds, and the stillness of the evening wrapped around me in a way that almost felt calming. For a moment, I even convinced myself that I had let my imagination exaggerate everything. Then I saw the tree, a tall, barren oak standing at the edge of the park. The shape, the broken branch, the twist of its roots, everything matched the tree in the stranger's profile photo. Every detail, something inside me sank. I stared at it for several seconds, frozen between disbelief and dread, before the world tilted again. Something pale shifted behind the trunk. A face, white, still, unmistakably human, peeked around the bark, framed by dark hair that drifted as if caught in a wind I couldn't feel. She didn't move toward me, but she didn't need to. Recognition hit instantly. My legs acted before my mind caught up, and I ran as if something ancient were chasing me through the dark. By the time I reached my apartment, my chest was burning, and my hands shook so violently I struggled with the lock. I secured every door, every window, every latch, then stared at the laptop from across the room, afraid of what might be waiting on the other side of the screen. Eventually, I forced myself to open it. Her photo had changed again. Her face filled the entire frame now, close enough to show faint cracks in the grainy image. Her eyes were endless black pits, pulling everything into them. She wasn't looking at a camera. She was looking directly at me. A wave of nausea hit so hard I doubled over, barely making it to the sink before getting sick. I haven't felt right since, shaking, nauseous, certain that something cold and deliberate has already slipped into my life. Every person she connected with was gone. every time she appeared, she moved closer, and now she's inches from the screen, watching, waiting. If this story left a chill in your chest, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep your distance from the shadows and think twice before accepting a stranger's friend request.